Hey, welcome to The How. This is my YouTube channel where I make videos to help people find a satisfying career or side hustle. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing as you can stay up to date with the latest videos. This specific video is a quick tip video where I'm dissecting one or two elements from a recent interview that I've done that I think deserves a little bit more mention. Things that stood out to me that I thought were extremely valuable. So let's jump into it and get started. All right, so I interviewed a police officer. That was a super insightful experience for me because you see a lot of what police officers do in TV shows and movies and stuff like that. But talking to him in person and learning from him blew me away. It was totally different from what I expected. There was two things that he said that I want to highlight. And the first one is the idea of teamwork. Everybody's different when it comes to working in a team. Some people love it, some people hate it. For me and my personality, I don't like it. When I was in school and had to do group projects, it was the worst. I hated those. And even now, I still don't enjoy working in a team. As a teacher, I collaborate with other teachers that are in my department, but personally, I don't get a ton from it, and I just don't like it. Now, Eric, the police officer that I interviewed, said that that is his favorite aspect about his work is the teamwork, the camaraderie aspect. When they go on a call and he's going in knowing that he has people that have his back, that are supporting him, and they're experiencing things together, he loves that. And even though I don't like teamwork, hearing him talk about it made me excited because I thought, yeah, that would be pretty cool to be able to work with other people like that and feel like I don't know. It's just an interesting concept to me. I'm newer to that idea, but I thought it was really interesting. As a police officer, from what I understood, it's crucial to have teamwork because you have to have the support of your comrades when you go on a call, as well as the emotional side of things. Because police officers see a lot. They see a lot of heavy stuff. I recently learned that that's called, I think it's secondary trauma. And it's tough. It's brutal stuff, I'm sure, that they see on a daily basis. And Eric said that the fact that he knows other people are experiencing that same stuff with him helps him a lot. That's like his support group that he uses. Now, if you're considering being a police officer and you want to know if you do really like teamwork, maybe you can't decide right now, I think a great way to figure out if you like teamwork is think about the sports that you play. And I get it, not everybody plays sports, but there's sports that rely on teamwork more than others. Technically, a bad example of teamwork is basketball, because one person can actually dominate a basketball game on a team. That's why you can have an all-star on a team and win. But on the other side, the most extreme team sport is definitely football. If one person in football isn't doing their job or playing their position, it falls apart. If you play football, then you might like being a police officer. That was something that I understood. And Eric even confirmed that to me because I asked him about it. I'll actually look up some major teamwork items, activities. Oh my gosh. Enough with the ads. One that's interesting is singing or playing an instrument. And that makes sense because if you're in a choir, everybody has to do their part and be in unison. Same with playing an instrument. Even though I am the least musical and least instrumental, I don't know what the word is, but I'm the least musical person in the world. When I took my first personality test, basically said that I'm musically retarded. Another one that's interesting I'm reading is event organizing. That's a good one where you have to collaborate with people. So if you like organizing things and working with people in that area and like kind of deliberating, that's really interesting. Eric even told me that when they go on a call, one person is in charge and everybody else that's there is kind of supporting them, playing a supportive role. So that person who's running the show when they're on a call is kind of like the person who's the event organizer and who's delegating jobs to other people. Acting, it says, is another one. That's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Acting, you have to cooperate with other people as well as work independently. To be an actor, you must be reliable, able to work under pressure, and meet deadlines. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that acting would be a really good team building activity, but yeah, now that I see that makes a lot of sense. Okay. I'll include the link to this website and the websites I found that are valuable in the description below that you can check out. If being part of a team gives you a lot of satisfaction, something that you enjoy doing, I think that being a police officer would be an incredible career. The second item that stood out to me in that interview is this. To be a police officer, Eric said that you have to have a strong sense of morals. That was something he was really grateful for, is that his parents raised him to be a moral person, and that comes into play tremendously in his work. He even said that if you don't have a strong sense of morals, that you wouldn't last as a police officer. And that made a lot of sense to me, because police officers are in the public's eye all the time. I think that's a good thing, because it's kind of a check and balance, because obviously police officers have a lot of power, but everybody watching police officers and weighing in on what they're doing has kind of that counterbalance to their actions. Thinking about that, if you were a police officer and you were corrupt or doing things that were immoral, oh man, I bet it wouldn't take long before you just get chewed up and spit out by the public. And I think that's a good thing. I know that sounds harsh, but man, I think that's a good thing, because I don't want police officers that are corrupt. Nobody does. Like, that's the worst, in my opinion. The idea that people who are supposed to be protecting you are actually hurting you, oh, that's crazy to me. That would infuriate me. And so I like that he said that you have to have a strong sense of morals to be a police officer. So if you're going to be a police officer, I think you need to recognize that your morals are going to be on display all the time. So hopefully they hold up. I personally want more police officers that are there to do good. A police officer can do a lot of good. Going back to what Eric said, in situations, they're a parent when they're on call. They're a counselor. They're a negotiator. And that's one of those jobs that kids look up to when they're little. So I want more police officers that are there to do good, there to help people, and know that their morals can stand up to the ever-watching eye of the public. I'm sure being a police officer can be extremely tough. Man, if you can make it, you're one of the tough ones. Those are my thoughts. That's what stood out to me from my interview with Eric. This is kind of an impromptu, just me sharing my thoughts and kind of working things out with you to share with you what I took away from the experience of interviewing a police officer. I walked away having a lot of respect for Eric. He's a good person. He's there trying to do his best, and I appreciate him for it. And I appreciate all the other police officers that are doing good. Real quick, another thought. This occurred to me actually after I'd finished filming this and was in the process of editing. I wanted to look up and find out how much diversity is there in the police force, at least in the United States. And looking it up, I think it's like 80% of police officers are male. So that's a huge imbalance when it comes to male and female. And when it comes to race, it's like 60+% are Caucasian, are white. And that, to me, is terrible. I'm learning more and more about this. This is something that I'm really passionate about as a school teacher. The idea that diversity, like what role it plays in our world. And especially when it comes to positions of power, there needs to be diversity. Because, I mean, I'm a white male, and I see things differently than someone who is female, obviously, or someone who is African American, Latino, what have you. We see things differently. If I'm going to be in a position of power, my biases are going to come through no matter what. It's just natural. I'm going to do things the way that I'm used to. It's just what I know, and that's what everyone does. But if there's more diversity in positions of power, it makes it so that it becomes a more well-rounded entity. It's obvious that having biases is a bad thing. Unfortunately, it's natural. So basically what I want to say is there needs to be more diversity in honestly everywhere, but especially in law enforcement. There has to be more diversity, in my opinion. There's so many problems that happen when there's not differences of opinion. And I don't know, sorry, I'm ranting. I'm getting on a soapbox on this topic, but it means a lot to me. So I want to plead with you, if you are at all interested in being a police officer and you're not a white male, I would urge you to do it. I would honestly, passionately encourage you to do it, because there needs to be more diversity in this area. In every area, obviously, it's necessary, but here especially, it's crucial. I don't know if I can make a difference by making this video, but hopefully I can have an impact, because there needs to be change in this area. If you like this video, hit the like button below and consider sharing this video with someone that you think could benefit. That would mean a lot to me, as you'd help me reach more people. And consider subscribing, that way you can stay up to date with the latest videos on hobbies, opportunities, work, and how to find the right career fit for you.